If you don't know any other law, this law will lead you to all the other ones. It is all is mind. Let's talk about this. Even if it's at a very subtle level, before you do anything, you have to feel yourself being able to do it or see yourself being able to do it. If not, you cannot do it. It is the law of mind. In quantum physics, they have found that the observer of the experiment has an effect on subatomic particles that make up our entire world. They have an influence on them. All is mind. So think about that. Everybody from theology to science knows one thing. You become what you think about most of the time. All is mind. When you study how to do better YouTube videos, how to do better sales, how to do better marketing, the thing you're studying is psychology and people. And people are mind. Where does everything come from? How do you trace it back? The all would have to be the source. Whatever the all is, it's the source of all there is. Well, we couldn't say that the universe is made of a piece of the all, like it divided off from itself, because it wouldn't be all anymore. It would be a part. We can't say that it multiplied itself and created planets and suns, because it wouldn't be the all. That would make a duplicate of itself. It would make it two. It only can be one. So if you really think about it, how could the all create something without dividing itself? And the only answer you come back to is it had to create the universe mentally. It's the only way that you can create things that stand out without dividing yourself. Let's think about it. If you think a thought in your mind right now, I want you to think of a scenario where you're happy, you got this nice body, and you're with the person who you want to be with. If you imagine that, did you divide yourself to do that? Did you split yourself off from yourself to do that? Were the people in your mind, the person who you were in your mind and who you were with in the body, are they separate from you? Can you honestly say that? If they were happening in your mind, what are they made of? They are made of your mind, but they're not separate from the mind. Just like that, we can suggest or say God's mind thought us into existence. And although we are God's mind, we are also in God's mind. But we are lucid dreaming. We are seeing ourselves to be true. The one thing that we cannot deny is that we are. We can deny who we are, what we are, where we are, how we are. We can debate that, but we cannot deny that we are. All is mind. This is the very first and only law there is. Every other law is a subsequent law to this one. Let's talk about what are the parts of the mind. We got two parts of the mind. We have one, which is the conscious mind. We have another part, which we can call the subconscious mind. And that's not a good name for it. It's really a better name to call it the creative mind. The conscious mind can do two things. It can reason inductively and deductively. The subconscious mind can only accept what it's given and carry it out to its natural conclusions. So these are the two aspects of the mind. The subconscious, being the creative mind, must be responsible for everything in the universe we see. If you look at trees, if you look at lakes, if you look at streams, if you look at clouds, if you look at weather patterns, if you just observe a plant, how much life is coming from the plant. If you watch a seed grow from a seed to a plant and on a time lapse, you start seeing growth. So anything that is creating from within is subconscious. So the subconscious mind accepts the seed, and as you can see in real time, it grows the seed into a full plant. This is subconscious activity. The earth will accept the acorn and reproduce the acorn into an oak tree. Just like that, the subconscious mind is much like the earth. We had to be planted in a subconscious essence, and the subconscious had to grow us. So that's who we are. We are outgrowths of the from the subconscious mind, not of the subconscious mind. You can say God planted himself in the subconscious mind and we became the outgrowth of him. That's what we can say, or it, whatever you want to say it. But these are the two parts of the mind. Reason that this is the most important is because everything else follows this. So let's talk about what the conscious mind and the subconscious mind can do. The conscious mind has the ability to select. It's selective. It can say, this is different than that. I prefer that over this. So it's selective. It has willpower. It can choose to focus. The subconscious mind, its qualities, what it can do is essentially everything. The subconscious mind can do everything. It can connect, it can build, it can attract, it can repel. The subconscious mind manifests from the inside out. It's the inside. Now, the conscious mind can do all, a lot of the things that the subconscious mind can do. So the conscious mind, it can select and will things. But the subconscious mind creates, connects, builds, attracts, repels. It works from the inside out. It does everything else. So what we do with the conscious mind is we plant. And we plant a seed. Okay? We plant a seed in the earth of the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is the law of growth. It's all law. But it's the law of growth. It grows that into a plant. Okay? It grows that into a plant. That's what happens. So the conscious mind decides to plant. The conscious mind decides to focus. And the conscious mind intends and starts things. The subconscious mind takes whatever is given and it grows that into whatever it is, whatever it was given. So this is the mind in its two parts. Now, it looks like it's two parts to us because we live in a world of duality. But when you scale this up to ultimately the origin, there is no division between conscious and subconscious. It's just the Father or the source. That source doesn't have division, but only when it comes into form does it have division. And that's a conversation for another day. But these are the two sections of the mind. So whenever you're choosing, whenever you decide, whenever you're saying yes or no to something, you're using your conscious mind. You're using selection and willpower. Now, what's the advantages and disadvantages of each? If you are lopsided or you are imbalanced in conscious thinking, you have the tendency to think that there is no overarching God, there's no pattern, there's no connectivity. Everything has to be proven by science, and science is the answer, the end all be all. Not understanding that the conscious mind is only able really to sift through the things that have already been manifested. It's the only thing that can divide. The subconscious mind is not able to divide, but it's responsible for what manifests. So the subconscious mind, in the subconscious mind, we can say is law. It's the laws of the universe. The law exists in the subconscious mind. So what does that mean? So the law of attraction exists in the subconscious mind, and the subconscious is everywhere. So let's say you are a human being with a conscious mind, which you are, and you decide to think a thought. Let's say you decide to think thought X. When you think thought X, that's consciously deciding to think thought X. Well, once the subconscious mind accepts thought X because of emotion, this is also the house of emotion. And once it accepts thought X as the emotion, then it starts activity. The subconscious mind, as soon as it accepts ideas, it activates the law activity. The activity is creation from the inside out and outside in. Inside out will be called creation. It look like we create or take action. So anytime that you have a spontaneous action that you're taking, which is all actions, your actions to create and do and move, those come from the inside out subconsciously. Also, the other movement is attraction. So also the subconscious mind will attract X to X. So it expresses and attracts. This is all subconscious activity. So when you do something through a day, if you're moving your body at all, the subconscious mind is responsible for the movement. But the seed in your mind that you've given to the subconscious mind, or what you've allowed to go over to the subconscious mind, that part, what you've received, is being carried out by the subconscious. So you get to choose, but most people don't use the selection and willpower to choose and focus. We are in a hypnotic trance pretty much all day. And guess what? One of the laws of the subconscious mind is it cannot reject. And it doesn't matter which conscious mind programs it. So here you are scrolling through TikTok. When I dead scroll, I do the same thing. When I dead scroll, what's happening is I'm being programmed with what I'm seeing. Now, I'm lucky because I got habits built that make my mind a lot stronger because I read more than I scroll through TikTok. And I think on high levels more than I scroll through TikTok. So I'm lucky in that sense. But while I'm scrolling, I am being programmed. And I'm being programmed with thoughts and ideas, whether I want to be or not. It is the same thing with you. When you are dead scrolling, or when you are not consciously thinking, or when you are not giving your dedicated, on purpose will to some idea, you haven't selected anything that stands out to you, and you're not willing yourself to think about it, if you don't have the willpower connected to that thought, then you are letting your subconscious mind open to whatever the environment brings. This is why you become like your mom. This is why you become like your dad. This is why you become like your environment. This is why those things happen. It's because you are allowing, this conscious mind is asleep, and you are allowing any idea from the environment to go right into your subconscious mind. Now, here's the question. How do you reprogram your subconscious mind? Alicia gave the best example. If you ever see a wine glass filled with wine, and then you got a water jug, if you pour that water jug into the wine glass, eventually the wine will spill over and it'll just be water there. Why? Because the more, when you pour something new in and you focus on pouring something new in, then the rest takes care of itself. So it's the exact same thing with the subconscious mind. The challenge is the subconscious mind is a lot deeper ocean. So what you want to be doing is constantly and always, as much as possible, intending an idea that makes you feel the best. Is the highest ideal you can think of. That's done by conscious thought. Now, the problem is, like we said, you are in environments all the time where you don't receive what it is you want to receive because you're not choosing your environment. But when your conscious mind wakes up, when your conscious mind wakes up to what the subconscious mind is and what it's connected to, and it realizes that all is made of mind, and if I move mind, then the whole universe's mind moves because it's only one mind, then you realize what I put in my subconscious mind becomes the law of the universe. Once that clicks in your brain, then you start to reprogram your brain by deciding what goes in your brain or not. Once you realize that the facts that are facts out here right now, at one point were not facts. It's a fact that there are a certain amount of billionaires. It's also a fact that human beings once didn't exist. So was it a fact that there were billionaires back then? Truth is, no. The facts were created. So we can create new facts. Facts change all the time. So understand, whatever you decide to select to focus on and will yourself to focus on, make sure it's something that you love. If it's not something that you love, the problem is you won't focus on it very long. So the conscious mind has to connect to the subconscious mind. How it does that is it decides to focus on what it loves. Because why? Emotion immediately translates to subconscious activity. If you love something, instantly and automatically, whatever it is that you're thinking about that you love goes into your subconscious mind and immediately makes you act and create in that way. And it also makes you attract in that way. And that's the reason why people who have something they really want, they have a desire that they really want. It magnetizes to them. And they create it automatically day and night. And it seems like whatever they want is attracting to them. And it's of the same nature as their thoughts. And it looks like they're lucky. Really, it's just very harmonious because it's nothing else to think of. It's nothing else to come to them except harmonious pieces because they're only thinking about one thing. Their mind is locked in. They're not thinking about 6 separate things and getting 6 different sets of objects, people, circumstances to come to them. And it's all over the place. No, they have one thought, one idea. So this is really the first law. By understanding all is mind on a basic level, it's 2 parts to the mind. You are a conscious mind and a subconscious. The subconscious mind is creative. The conscious mind is selective. If you understand this about yourself, you can start on a journey of taking control of your life. So this is the first law in the Golden Funnel that you need to learn, a universal law you need to learn. We'll see you in the next module.